And we want to do on Facebook Live. It's back here. Okay, I think I got it now. All right, let's do it again. Let's try this again. Okay, so we're going to try this again. I think I have the sound on now. Can someone say something so I can see if you're on? You can hear me? I'm doing this through Zoom. So, and I've never done this, so I don't know how the chat works for Facebook and Zoom at the same time. So, well, hopefully everything all goes, oh, good to know your internet connection is unstable. Okay, so let's get started anyways. I'll see how it all goes. Okay, so I just want to take, 10 minutes, and I've got my notes up here on the screen so I can stay on track, and because if something shiny goes by, I lose my train of thought. So I appreciate you guys coming to watch and show up. I want you to grab a pencil and paper, a cup of tea, some coffee, so you can stay focused. Because we're going to cover a fair bit amount of information. And I'm back. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so we're going to talk about what it's going to look like to get back to work. Where do we start and what can we do? So if everybody's ready, I'll just get started here and see how this all turns out. So I've been listening to discussions, and some of them look good, and of course there's still a bit of unknowns, but personally I think we're all waiting for someone to wave some magic wand and make all this go away. And I don't think that's going to happen. But it doesn't mean that we can't move forward from here. So we can take this bull by the horns and start pounding out a strategy instead of waiting to see what everybody else is going to be doing. They can wait and watch you do it, and by the time they catch up, well, you will have gained some of their clients. So my question to you is, are you going to wait another year or possibly 18 months for a vaccine to get back to work? I mean, how long do you think you can hold out? Because I don't think that's going to work. I think we're going to slowly get back out there. So where do you start? So I started this list. It's not a complete list, but it should get everybody headed in the right direction. So there's going to be things added to it, and I don't want to overwhelm you, so let's do this in baby steps, because the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So what can we do? Well, depending on your state and your personal situation, that will determine when you get the green light to legally go back to work. And then we're going to, of course, wait to see what everybody else is doing. And I don't think that's a good plan. So keep in mind that the states that are they're going to give you some guidelines, but they really aren't going to tell you exactly what to do. And it is not going to be fail-safe or a guarantee. Yeah, listen, I honestly believe, and this is without judgment, that the powers that be are making this up as they go along. They've never had this happen, and so they're doing the best they can, and I wouldn't want to be in their positions. So let's get started with this list. Okay, so you want to, of course, keep informed of the state rules and what's going on in your particular locality. One of the things that we're going to need, I think, to get started, so this will give you a heads up when they're available, is PPEs. They're in short supply, and we're not going to be able to get a hold of them right away. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, there are some things that we can possibly be doing beforehand. So you want to get hospital-grade disinfectant, wipes, and sprays, because you're going to be doing a lot of wiping down and a lot of spraying between each massage. And I've compiled this list. This first part of it mainly is for everybody, for the house call therapist and the office. And then I'll get down a little bit of the office stuff, but I wanted to stick to something that was more general for everybody. Okay, so you're going to want to check your massage table and your chair for like any imperfections. That means if there's any rips, like I got one that has a rip and I've got Alabama duct tape on there, holding it together, it's going to need to be reupholstered. You're not going to be able to have anything that has any nicks or imperfections in it, and that includes your chair. Everything has to be, you're going to have to be able to wipe it down. So in the meantime, you're going to store away all your fabric face cradle pillows, your lamb's wool, your heating pads, all of that. You just need to say goodbye to it temporarily and put it away until they come up with a vaccine. So in the meantime, just put it away. Your massage lubricant dispenser, that's going to be different from office to mobile. You want probably to have a bigger container so that it's not going to be exposed to the air. And your holster, I don't think that's going to work very well, because you're not going to be able to, unless you've got, they're washable and you've got 10 of them and you're using one for each client. Your linen protocol. I'm sure they're going to have YouTube videos out there on this, how you are going to use your linens and how you're going to, when you change out the table, how you're going to gather them up and put them in the bag. I haven't figured out how you're going to get them out of the bag without letting loose, with the cat too. So you might consider a linen service. And your dress protocol, because you're going to have a jacket or top for every client. And I don't think you're going to want to be pulling it up over the top of your head. So something with a zipper, a Velcro, buttons, whatever, something that can be taken off and that you have as many as you have clients for that day. Yeah, the paperless forms, we have to go paperless. And I did look up one particular app that works for both iOS and Google Play, and it's called Jot Forms, Jotforms. They have a free plan, but it doesn't come, it's not HIPAA compliant. That plan is $29 a month. So I'm sure there might be some others out there but that's just one that I came across that seemed to cover everything. Paperless payment. this is going to be a tough one. No more cash, excuse me, or checks. You can use Venmo. And there's, of course, other payment services that you can use that you're going to either have to have the client go on a calendar and do prepayment, or you're going to be able to send that payment right to their phone to have them take care of it while they're with you. So that's just one of the things you can be thinking about. Here's one that I saw in one of the discussions, client precaution protocol. You're going to want to know what precautions that your clients are taking, because you don't want somebody who's throwing caution to the wind and exposing you and everybody else. So if they're wearing masks when they go out, gloves, if they've been to a hospital, a nursing home, they've traveled, if they've been in contact with anybody who's had a positive test for coronavirus, COVID-19, or whatever it is that we're calling it, because you don't want someone to bring that into you and you're down for 2 weeks. And on top of that, your liability insurance, you got to check to see if that's going to cover you if somebody gets that from you. So, and you also want to check your health insurance on top of that as well. Disposable temperature strips. I have not actually looked those up, but I know that they are available and we could possibly be using those for our clients. Now, the client who's complaining about allergies. They're sniffling, coughing, blowing their nose. They have a full-blown cold or they have a virus of some sort. You're just not going to be able to accept anybody who has any of this stuff going on, because you don't know where it's actually coming from. And I wouldn't rely on the clients, what they think that it is. Office protocol. Okay, so we're getting into the office. This is going to be a bigger issue to work around. So you're going to have to get rid of all fabric, chairs, magazines, anything that the clients touch, even possibly air filters for your AC. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but you're going to also need to plan to make sure that the clients don't meet each other. Those clients that show up like an hour early, thinking you're going to take them earlier. So you're going to have to be really strict on the fact that they can't come before you've checked out the other client and you've had a chance to go through everything. This is going to, take more time, but it's our new normal. And then last I have on my list is a closing protocol. This protocol that you're going to need if you become a hotspot and you have to close again. So you're going to want to be prepared for that. There's still a lot of unknowns, but I think this will eliminate some of those what would otherwise be a surprise. And you can manage each piece a little at a time. Instead of pouring a big bucket of water on this, we're going to water it each day, and so that we can control and come up with a best strategy. So I wanted you to get a jump on some of these issues and get them out of the way and give yourself a chance to get your head wrapped around it. There are more changes that are going to be coming, and so I believe it helps to have a plan, because you can modify a plan. But flying by the seat of your pants doesn't leave any wiggle room if you need to pivot or change. You're just not going to be able to do that. And if you don't have to, I wouldn't. So I'm going to have a follow-up in my Facebook group, and I'm not sure if I can put this in the chat, but I'm going to try to put that link in. And once I have a complete list, and I'd like you to be able to ask questions and maybe add to that list as well. So I know if we all put our heads together, we can come up with a comprehensive plan of action. And my next video topic is going to be how to get the ball rolling and how to avoid the Band-Aid effect. So let me see if I can get this in the chat. Chat. Yeah, I'm not sure how this worked. If any of you even saw this, we'll see. Can always do it over again. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for listening, and I will see you in the Facebook group. Thanks again, and until I see you again, stay safe. So I'm going to stop that.